Queens College is located in the heart of Flushing, Queens. Founded in 1937, the college became part of the City University of New York system in 1961. Here at Queens College, we see ourselves not only as New Yorkers, but as members of the global community. In fact, our school is located in the most diverse county of the United States. And if you walk our campus, you'll see that diversity reflected in the faces and voices of the students and the faculty.
Yeah, we reflect the world. Students here represent over 120 different countries. And every day we are challenged and empowered to envision ways we can have an impact and make a difference.
So, when the school set out to build the summit, it made perfect sense to approach the project with the utmost concern for the environment and build in the greenest way possible, using LEED criteria established by the U.S. Green Building Council as our guide.
LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. LEED sets the standard for green building. The project took vision, commitment, and the collaboration of a number of world-class partners.
This is the story of that journey.
We really wanted it to communicate the right values to the students. And at this campus, students have been interested in the environment for a long time. Deep commitment. So anything that would be attractive to them, we felt had to be something that would communicate the values of sustainability.
The unique thing about this residence hall, besides being the partnership between a college and a private entity, is that we've done this around a building that's sustainable. And this is the first building on our campus that we've built with LEED certification.
It's very difficult to tell whether a building is a LEED certified building or not because quite often many of the attributes of the LEED program are built into the internal portion of the building with energy management systems, with storm collection systems.
We wanted to make sure the building was as energy efficient as possible and of course, as beautiful as possible too, but we wanted to do it in the context of treading lightly on the earth and respecting the environment.
It's very exciting to us, and it's exciting to our students to see that there are ways that you can do construction and live a life that's a sustainable life.
We want to be a model. We want to be the sort of place that says, this is the way you do it if you're educating students for the future.
Sustainable sites.
Sustainable building all starts with the location, and campus building presents unique challenges that have to be addressed.
Almost 27% of energy use in the U.S. goes toward transportation, and historically, Queens College has been a commuter school.
So the good news is our school is easily accessed by public transportation, which has an enormous impact in reducing carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and other compounds, especially when contrasted with the use of individual cars.
But when it comes to the summit, how do you address the issue of sustainable sites for the first campus residence hall at Queens College?
It's interesting to find you have an existing urban campus. You've got to find land within that campus to build on. We're really taking land that had been used as tennis courts. Reuse of existing land for a better use is a sustainable strategy. The building's built over top of a parking garage, which we had to construct first.
This project is actually within a quarter mile of 4 bus lines. Students have pretty extensive options for getting around. So the project is going to achieve a LEED credit for having public transportation access.
Everything's pretty close. It's not a far walk to get to classes. Roll right out of bed, stay in my pajamas. The laundry room's right there.
The summit even takes bike riders into account. There are convenient covered bike racks for student use. That's where I'll be keeping mine.
Water efficiency.
Water consumption by an ever-expanding population is a huge environmental concern. There are so many more people on the planet than there were, say, 20, 40, 50 years ago, and we're all consuming water in multiple ways, placing ever-increasing demands on the supply.
It's a top environmental priority for all of us to be focused on conserving our water supply.
A typical student probably spends 10 to 15 minutes in a shower, and that is a lot of water that it uses. So we wanted to make sure that #1 priority as far as the plumbing fixtures went, that the showers had low flow shower heads. All of the faucets at the kitchen sink as well as the bathroom all have low flow aerators as well.
This site previously was completely paved over, so all of the rainwater would run off from the site. And even though we're constructing a building here, we're also adding a lot of vegetation around the perimeter and also here on the green roof. This bumpy looking tray over here is the water retention layer, so that when it's not raining, the plants will absorb that water without a whole lot of irrigation.
All the plants that we chose for the job are native plants, meaning if they grow to full height, full length, full life, they don't invade another species of plant. So therefore, the ecosystem that's been generated, there's not a disturbance.
Energy and atmosphere. Improving the energy performance of buildings is a crucial element in sustainable design.
One of the important factors for any building is having an efficient envelope. That is an envelope which will prevent a lot of heat loss when you're heating or cooling. There's a lot of insulation in the walls, very efficient double pane windows with thermal break around the frame of the window so that there's a minimum amount of heat lost through the windows.
We're using radio frequency controlled thermostats for our PTAC units and giving each student individual control over his or her space.
The central air in this apartment is controlled through a thermostat.
It actually uses an occupancy sensor that is in the thermostat. If the building is not in operation, you could actually set back those temperatures even further so that you're not wasting energy.
Heat in this building is provided via condensing boilers, which are just about the most efficient way you can heat a building. It's about 94% efficiency.
We thought it was important to incorporate energy efficient lighting as well as bi-level lighting. As far as the bi-level lighting, the light fixture has 2 light levels that it can be at. When no one is in the stair tower, it's set to the lower setting. The second a door opens or somebody steps into the space, the light steps back up to its higher output.
Materials and resources. Many factors constitute a sustainable approach to materials and resources.
Waste of all types has a huge impact on the environment. That includes the things we throw away on a daily basis, as well as the kinds of waste that's produced by building construction.
A tremendous amount of that waste is recyclable, and when we reuse material instead of sending it to a landfill, that has a huge positive impact on deforestation and energy consumption.
We decided to do on-site separation and have containers for all the different materials, drywall, wood, metal, plastics, and it's actually worked out quite well for us without really adding any significant cost to the project.
Our project right now is really close to achieving 75% recycled use for construction waste. We have been able to reduce the amount of debris that's on our job site and therefore generated less waste that has been hauled and dumped into a common landfill.
The advent of bringing to the site a completely finished panel to eliminate all that waste is pretty remarkable.
We make them into prefabricated complete units. Everything is in there, the windows, the brick, it's grouted. It comes to the job site as a complete finished product. The panel gets loaded on a truck, we ship it to the job site, we take the panels off our truck, hoist them with the crane onto the building.
There's a lot less waste generated from a precast panel. You don't use the amount of wood for formwork. The precast is done at a factory, so generally at a factory you have less waste.
Additionally, it helps with the speed factor, which creates a very, very fast, efficient method of construction. What Capstone is doing here at Queens is really setting a standard for sustainable construction. And the use of materials such as metal studs goes a long way in promoting the use of sustainable construction and LEED certification.
Drywall metal studs are a huge contributor to pulling from that recycled metal.
It is actually cheaper to recycle material than it is to mine new material.
The majority of flooring for this project is actually carpet tile. If someone spills something on a tile, you could pick up a tile and replace it with a new one, whereas sheet carpet that's more traditionally used, if someone spills something, you're pretty much stuck with that stain. We used a product by Interface Floor. It had a very high recycled content to it, and it's a non-toxic, no VOC adhesive on carpet tile.
Historically, residential and industrial buildings have been tremendous producers of greenhouse gases. But new technologies that make energy use smarter and more efficient can make a huge difference.
And the innovations that have been incorporated into the design of the summit are state-of-the-art.
Indoor environmental quality.
Indoor environmental quality is affected by things like ventilation, minimizing the gases emitted from building material and equipment.
It's also affected by the availability of natural light and an individual's ability to have control over their personal environment.
We start looking at things like orientation, which way the building is best sited for natural views, where sunlight comes in.
Some of the big benefits that we have worked hard to try and do is provide low VOC, pretty much everything, all the way down from rubber base to flooring material to paint, the exterior wall, and all the way through the caulks and everything.
So that means they're not going to be off-gassing toxic substances into the air. So people won't be breathing that when they're here studying and sleeping and so forth.
The kitchen cabinets within each suite is a composite wood product that has no added urea formaldehyde.
It's great that Queens College gave us cabinets that's made out of sustainable material.
The sheet metal or ductwork that we have put into this job, when it comes out on site, it is sealed at both ends, and that's to eliminate any type of debris in transport or at the manufacturer or on site from getting into that ductwork.
So all of that stuff was built into the design, which we're now putting in place to really, really help the indoor air quality at the end of the day.
Innovation in design.
This final category really focuses on what it's like to live in and around the summit.
As you'll see, it's great.
We're sort of, in a way, designed from the inside out. We're looking at what we think the people who will live in the buildings, what they need to accomplish and how they need to feel to be happy in whatever they're doing inside that building.
This is like the reason I came to Queens. I knew they were new, and it's like a huge suite.
Right by everything, the gym's right there, the library's right there. I have class in 10 minutes, so it's close by.
It's a great place for the four of us to hang out.
I think it's beautiful.
I love my bedroom.
I like there's a lot of study rooms in each floor.
It's starting to be like a real campus experience.
It's got everything you would hope for in a dorm, and hey, if it can be environmentally friendly, why not?
We're an urban university. We have this very large footprint in the city of New York, and if going forward we can in some way reduce the strain that we put on this city, it's really it's a win-win for everybody.
What sits here at this college is probably going to be the future of the world. If the way we're educating these students about living a sustainable life, what power that brings to what they do as they leave these halls and go out into the workforce.
We're focused on the future, and we are excited by the opportunity to impact our world for the better, right here in the fantastic borough of Queens, and on a larger scale as we seek out new ideas and new inspiration to lead the way to a healthier, greener planet.
You know what else? In addition to all the green features, the summit's a great place to live.
Thanks for spending time with us and learning more about the summit here at Queens College.